Now on 13 News at 5, the first day of the conclave to elect the next leader of the Catholic Church is done. We're live with the latest from the Vatican. And a drug sweep shuts down a school. We're talking to police and recovering addicts about drugs in your kids' schools.
Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins in the Storm Tracker 13 Weather Lab. Getting colder for tomorrow, a little taste of winter. Details coming up. 13 News at 5 begins right now.
Good evening, I'm Don Hammond. Welcome to 13 News at 5. The Cardinals enter the papal conclave today, but we don't have a pope yet. Our April Call's live in the newsroom with the latest on this. April?
We have been monitoring the very latest from Vatican City. Black smoke has poured from the Sistine Chapel chimney. That signals the Cardinals have failed to elect a pope on their first try. The Cardinals held the first day of the conclave today, deeply divided over the problems of the church and who best among them might be able to fix them following the stunning resignation of Pope Benedict XVI. The Vatican made clear it did not expect a winner on the first ballot. Those Cardinals now return to the Vatican's hotel for the night. They're going to return for Mass tomorrow morning and a new round of voting. The Cardinals do not speak to each other during the conclave, but they do talk about the election during meals and breaks at the building where they're staying. We're going to continue to monitor the situation, and the CBS Evening News is going to have much more on the papal conclave. That's tonight at 6:30. Live in the newsroom, April Call 13 News, working for you.
We're also following this developing story from the world of NASA, where scientists say tests on a Mars rock show the planet could have supported primitive life. The analysis was done by the rover Curiosity, which drilled into the rock, crushed it, and tested a tiny sample too. NASA scientists say this rock contains clay minerals that formed in a watery environment, an environment that may be favorable for microscopic organisms. Hostess moving ahead with plans to sell its Twinkies and other snack cakes to two investment firms after no other competitors offers were made in this. Now, the bankrupt company had earlier picked a joint $410 million offer from Metropolis along with Apollo Global Management as the lead bid for the cakes. A hearing to approve the purchases is set for sometime next Tuesday. And we have this just video into our newsroom right now of a bus crash involving a college sports team. One person is dead here, we're finding out, after a tour bus from St. Michael's College in Vermont collided with two other vehicles in upstate New York just before noon today. Several other people were injured there. This bus rolled into the ditch, but state police said the injuries on the bus were minor. As you can see, the scene crowded with dozens of police, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians. And this breaking just into the 13 newsroom now. This is video of a car accident happening right now in South Charleston. This happened near the Hardys on McCorkle Avenue. A silver Mercedes stalled out here, causing a three-car chain reaction crash. Everyone involved in the accident's been treated on the scene with minor injuries, and the road was shut down for about 30 minutes. Stay with 13 News, WOWK-TV.com for the latest on this developing story. We brought you the first story first here on 13 News at noon now. A nasty coal truck accident slowed traffic on part of Route 60 in London. That's in Kanawha County. Those who saw this accident say the driver lost control of his truck, broke through the guardrail. The truck overturned and landed on its side, spilling coal over the train tracks at Mercer Road. There were no injuries reported. Traffic around the area slowed due to this accident, of course. Happening today, a suspected pill mill is raided and several patient records are seized. This is part of an investigation that's been going on for about a year now in southern Ohio. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, along with several local agencies, raided Pinnacle Wellness and Longevity on South 3rd Street in Ironton. Investigators spent hours there collecting patient records from the business. Sheriff deputies also questioned several patients who were arriving for their appointments at the time of the raid.
And have you seen like long lines of people? Does it appear like something that could be a pill mill?
Not to me, no. I come here for help to keep from relapsing.
No arrests have been made, and the business has not been shut down by the AG's office as authorities were only conducting a search there. Copies of patient records were left at the office so patients can still obtain their records by calling the doctor's office. Off and on rain today, and the chance of is there a chance of some flurries tonight? Let's go find out. Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins. Spence?
All right, Don, well, things are going to turn colder here. Today was colder than yesterday. Haven't seen too much rain today, but boy, definitely a gloomy one out there. With colder air on the way, it's time to think about another little taste of winter. But currently, Storm Tracker 13 HD Dual Live Doppler is nice and quiet, and just a lot of low-lying clouds. It's only 39 degrees. There's a live picture of Ohio University Airport in Albany, Ohio. That's the southwest corner of Athens County. It's 43 in Point Pleasant as one of the warmer spots, 41 in Charleston and Huntington. So it's a dry commute home, but tomorrow there could be snowflakes flying, and we'll come back and we'll talk about that. That's right, the weatherman said there could be a few snowflakes flying after a weekend when we hit 76.
All right, drug dogs at an area high school this morning put the school on lockdown too, but it was all planned here at this event. Police from across Kanawha and Putnam counties were at Nitro High School looking for drugs. They didn't find any, but Nitro's police chief says they seldom do. It's their presence in the schools that is the most important.
We've got multiple dogs going through a school right now. You know, if there's any drugs in the school today, we'll find them. Hopefully we won't find anything. It's a goal of mine that we come over here and we do these searches and we don't find anything because there's nothing there.
Tonight at 6, we're going to introduce you to addicts who admit they were using drugs in their high schools and what they would do differently if they could do it all again. It's an emotional story, certainly won't want to miss. It's a newly announced youth fitness campaign, and it's coming to a school near you. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin and national fitness icon Jake Steinfeld announced this campaign today. $100,000 will be provided to 3 West Virginia elementary and middle schools fitness centers that promotes physical activity and wellness. The money was donated by the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils. A tax that's facing a lawsuit is now repealed on Monday. The 1% occupation tax was repealed by Huntington City Council. A lawsuit challenging the tax legality is currently pending in Kanawha County Circuit Court. An injunction issued in this case prohibits this tax from going into effect. The Huntington tax was approved in 2011 to replace the city's user fee. Developing now, the battle over education reform heating up at the state capitol. 13 News reporter Lisa Robbins explains why people were crowded outside the governor's office today.
Holding up colorful signs and passing out pamphlets. That's what education union members spent much of the day doing. They say they're locked in a battle right now with some state lawmakers over Governor Earl Ray Tomlin's education reform bill, also known as Senate Bill 359.
Very little of the bill is student-centered.
Instead, they say it focuses too much on hiring practices and planning periods, not student achievement. So what do they want to see in the bill?
Parental involvement, the truancy issue, the poverty issue, all those things should be discussed that will make a difference for student achievement.
And they're hopeful some of their concerns will be addressed in the coming week.
We believe there's room for compromise. As it is, it's not good for the children of West Virginia.
Let's go forward. Let's quit this bickering and let's go forward with education.
In Charleston, Lisa Robbins, 13 News, working for you.
Way it stands now, this bill is currently being debated in the Senate. Even if it does clears, it still has to go through the House, where members say they think they'll have a better chance of their voices being heard. How about this? Do you have an outgoing, active personality? Can you spend 3 months having your every move watched by millions all over the country? Well, the producers of CBS's hit reality show Big Brother will be in town Saturday, March 23rd for an open casting call at the Charleston Town Center. You must be 21 or over to audition for this, and casting agents are looking for competitive, big personalities. This open call runs now from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. This will be the show's only visit to our area, so arrive early and good luck on this. We're also following some breaking news from Lawrence County, Ohio, where we're hearing from dispatchers of a possible child struck by a train on Eisenhower Street this is South Point, Ohio. Emergency crews are on the scene there, and 13 News is also on the way to the scene. You stay with 13 News, WOWK-TV.com for the latest on this developing breaking news story right now. Now on 13 News at 6, do you remember the great blizzard of 20 years ago? Our team of meteorologists certainly do. We're going to take a look back to the truly historic storm that paralyzed the region back in 1993. And Spencer will also be back with today's check of the Storm Tracker 13 forecast. 13 News at 5, working for you.
All right, well, hi, everybody. Checking out an ice jam that happens this time of year out in the Midwest. This is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Luckily, their temperature is going to work its way on up a little bit. But tell you what, when the river gets clogged with this ice, what happens is it turns into just basically like a dam, and then the water just piles up, and they've had flooding in some neighborhoods in Cedar Rapids. So, yeah, this time of year, that's what goes on out there, and they could see more flooding going on as well throughout the spring. In the meantime, here, we don't have any rain currently. It looks like maybe a teeny little sprinkle here in Athens County and the Meigs County line, as in, oh, I had to hit the wipers because there were 3 drops, and that's about it. But we'll see some more rain, some snow showers tomorrow as well. 39 in Sutton and Summersville right now, so it's cool tomorrow, even a few degrees cooler. 39 in Athens, 38 in Portsmouth, 41 in Charleston, Huntington, Hamlin, Louisa, Grayson right now. There are snow showers beginning to develop, and they are originating out toward Iowa, and even a little rain shower here in Illinois. That's pressing its way in, so tonight look for an increase in clouds. Temperatures will be held down again, of course, back down closer to about 30 degrees. We see a lot of cloud coverage right now, 41 degrees. Literally about 30 seconds ago, I captured this movie. Marshall University School of Medicine camera in Huntington, Hal Greer Boulevard. It's dry. Traffic's good, but again, the clouds are very low, and it's definitely a clammy day out there this afternoon. And as far as looking at the picture in Charleston, let's check that out. And the temperature again is running at about 41 degrees, and that's, let me see if I can get that one. There it is, Charleston, 42 degrees now, low-lying ceiling, and that picture was made just a few minutes ago as well at George Washington High School. Let's watch Predictor, and we'll watch these clouds kind of fill in from the northwest to the southeast. A little gap every here and there, but the moisture really arrives tomorrow morning, and look at this, the mountains start to see a couple of sprinkles, flurries here, Summersville, a couple of flurries out here to the west of Portsmouth. Now we're up to 6:45 in the morning. And also just more clouds that look a little ominous at times and kind of spitting at us, a little rain and snow mix, especially across the coal fields in the afternoon. And then we'll start to dry out, so we'll expect an even colder night tomorrow night as the skies clear. So likely some spots dropping all the way back into the 20s. Storm Tracker 13 forecast for tonight. 31 showers generally after midnight with a raindrop or snowflake or combination of both. And again, a few slick spots in the high terrain. The city's not too worried about that. Rain and some snow mixing in from time to time tomorrow. Breezy, 10 to 25 mile an hour winds. The high only 38, and that's Charleston, Huntington. We'll see cooler conditions around Summersville and Athens. And we'll look for about 43 on Thursday with the sunshine edging back out after a 24-degree start. 54 Friday, that's great. And then here comes the rain for the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, rounds of showers, and we'll inspect the chance of showers. I'm going to get a new look at the weather models, and maybe even before we see you again in a half an hour, we may have to up those chances for rain on Monday and Tuesday.
We'll deal with it thanks to a well-publicized sinkhole in Florida. Other ground sinkers getting plenty of attention now, like this one just outside of Philadelphia. That mess you see is a 20-foot sinkhole that opened up at the end of Doris Jenkins' driveway, swallowing some asphalt and part of the road, too. 3 smaller sinkholes appeared nearby. The shifting ground damaged Jenkins' home and forced her out of there. Bethlehem Township says a 40-year-old sewage pipe leaked in 2 places, leading to this big old problem. Also from the Philly area, incredible new video. Police in nearby Roxborough say an elderly female driver was behind the wheel when the car crashed into the front section of Dunkin' Donuts. Investigators say the driver apparently is kind of panicked, hit the gas instead of the brakes. As she backed up over the curb, went through the window. No one was seriously injured here. Police calling the incident kind of an accident. Driver will not be cited. Some of the most famous and powerful people in the country may have had sensitive information published online. They've been outed by a Russian-based website calling itself Exposed. The forum has published what appears to be personal financial records. The website reveals the celebrities' credit card reports, mortgage statements, social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, and loan information. Officials from the FBI continue to investigate what in the world happened. And the all clear has been sounded after a chemical leak scares one neighborhood. A nitric acid leak in Duchesne County, Kentucky has been contained, and residents received the all clear to come back into the area this morning. People living in 12 homes were evacuated as a precaution on Monday. Emergency crews cleaned up the remnants of a chemical leak from a tank holding approximately 2,400 gallons of nitric acid. There were no injuries or illnesses reported, though, as a result of that problem. And new police video has emerged of a dangerous high-speed chase that saw motorists being used to stop a teen driver high on meth. Just released, this right here. The video shows 19-year-old Ashley Steele reaching speeds of 124 miles an hour last May along a Melbourne highway. You can see the stolen car get dangerously close to many cars there before ultimately crashing into a stretch of parked cars on the highway. Police in the chase actually told drivers to park so to kind of block the getaway car from slipping past authorities. Steele will be sentenced sometime next month. Another tragic accident involving teens behind the wheel, this time in Illinois. 4 students were killed when their car plunged right into a creek this morning. Rescue crews were seen pulling a black vehicle from the water in unincorporated Will County. This is near Wilmington. Officials said there were 4 teens there, 2 boys, 2 girls inside the vehicle. A spokesman says the car somehow just drove off the road, crashed right through the bridge guardrail. Weather may have played a factor in this deadly crash. Also from Illinois, an incredible car fire caught on tape tape amazingly. No injuries have been reported from this one here. A news chopper was already near the scene covering another story when they heard of this amazing fire. Investigators say the car spun out of control, slammed into a utility pole. Roadway was closed for a couple of hours after the fire, though, was put out. Now on 13 News at 5, the man accused of killing 12 people and injuring 70 others at a movie theater last July just back in court today. Working for you on 13 News at 5. Welcome back to 13 News at 5. The man accused of gunning down people in a Colorado movie theater will go on trial sometime in August, but during James Holmes' arraignment, his lawyers weren't ready to enter a plea, so the judge took matters into his own hands. Begad Shaban's at the courthouse in Centennial, Colorado with the latest.
James Holmes, with a full beard, sat calmly in court. His defense attorneys argued they needed more time before entering a plea. Judge William Sylvester denied the request and entered a not guilty plea on James Holmes' behalf. But he left the door open for the defense to change that plea to not guilty by reason of insanity.
I'm glad that he forced him into it and that he made a decision for him, because we don't need to keep continuing this.
The 25-year-old faces 166 felony counts for the July attack that killed 12 people and injured 70 others at a Colorado movie theater. Holmes' parents sat in the second row, and victims and family members of those killed packed the courtroom. Jessica Watts lost her cousin. 26-year-old Jonathan Blunk was a Navy veteran and father of 2.
He died in such a horrific way, and he was military, and you don't expect him to come home and to die in a movie theater.
If the defense decides to change the plea, Holmes will have to undergo a series of mental evaluations to determine whether he's insane.
Do you think James Holmes is insane?
No, I think he's evil. There's a big difference.
Prosecutors also have to decide if they'll pursue the death penalty. They'll let the judge know in April, when both sides are due back here in court.
We've already paid the greatest sacrifice. No matter what happens, my cousin is gone.
If Holmes is found guilty, he could face life in prison or death. Begad Shaban, CBS News, Centennial, Colorado.
And the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley. We'll have much more on this case coming up at 6:30. Now on 13 News here on Tuesday at 5. What are these Girl Scouts doing with all these cookies? The story behind these culinary confections. We have the latest. You're watching 13 News at 5. Back on 13 News at 5. Now April Call joins us with a look at she's working on for 5:30. April?
Don, we've been working on getting some new details in a police chase. We checked with officers and they say that this man led them for miles through Fayette County. It led to a manhunt through the woods. Tonight, we're working with police to recreate what happened and get a sense from cops about how they handle these kinds of dangerous situations. All that and much more straight ahead at 5:30. Don?
We're also following some breaking news from Lawrence County, Ohio, where we're hearing from dispatchers of a possible child struck by a train. This on Eisenhower Street. This is South Point, Ohio right now. Now, emergency crews are on the scene there, and 13 News is now at the scene. You stay with 13 News, WOWK-TV.com for the latest on this developing story. An Australian toddler who can barely walk has learned to swim like a fish. She isn't even 2 years old, but Kate Wood can easily finish nearly half a mile of laps in the pool. The tiny tot has amazed some of the most seasoned trainers by swimming continuously for about 45 minutes. Kate's been getting lessons since she was 7 months old. Before that, in the womb, of course. She trains 3 times a week. The water baby loves the water so much she's rarely seen without her swimmer's cap and her goggles. Hope you're not too hungry before you see this next story, as it's time for the Great Girl Scout Cookie Taste-Off. The event took place at the Charleston Marriott. Teams of Girl Scouts teamed up with the Marriott chefs and media friends like our own Courtney Kondabi to make delicious desserts using Girl Scout cookies. Cookies like the famous Do-si-dos, Thin Mints, and more tease the judges' taste buds, teasing mine right now. And the idea is to let people know they can still get Girl Scout cookies and have a little fun too.
I love tasting the cookies and decorating them. It was so fun.
Now, Courtney Kondabi's team won this, and so did all the other teams, we're told. They're all winners. All the delicious recipes are available right now at Little Brownie Bakers. Spencer?
Well, I saw my friend Coach Kidd there, and he's probably in a cookie coma right now. So if somebody wake him up tomorrow for me, will you? I mean, he just gets paid to eat cookies.
Snap out of it.
All right, here we go. 38 degrees tomorrow, and so it's a cold day. Little wintry mix coming by. A couple snow showers in the mountains. Just watch out for that. 43 to 54 as we we begin a little bit of a warm up, and then on the weekend it's a little soggy around here. You know, I've had a lot of people lately say they're kind of, I don't know, maybe it's spring cleaning, they're moving furniture. I've had 3 people in the past 2 days say, I need to move furniture. Can I do it when it's raining? So it must be that spring season to kind of, clean out.
Helps you get out of that cabin fever sort of mode that I think, some people are having right now.
I agree.
Anyway, that's a forecast we can get into. West Virginia Tonight Live is next. Good evening.
Cookies look good.